Welcome into Sports Talk 406, or actually it's Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. We've got our starting lineups. The Mavericks are going to be hosting the Bitterroot Bucs, and we'll start out with the Bitterroot Bucs starting rosters. Number 4, Colby Coleman. He's going to be playing at left field. Number 5, Marcus Zeiler. He's going to be shortstop. Number 2, Jake Finley is holding down second base. Number 1, Liam LaCour. He is getting the call on the mound as a pitcher. Number 21, Benjamin Schweitzer. He is at first base. Number 15, Jaylee Scully. He will be holding down the catcher spot. In center field will be number 6, Alex Garrick. Number 11, Braxton McClure. He will be at third base. And your right fielder is number 3, Benjamin Daly. Now for your Missoula Mavericks, number 20, Nick Jovetic will play at center field. Number 2, James Martin holds down second base. Number 7, Dane Frazier, been playing very well at first base. Well, they're going to have him hold it down again tonight. Number 13, Trad Richardson. He is at third base. 21, Spencer Schock. He's going to be our designated hitter tonight for the Missoula Mavericks. Number 5, William Larson. He is at right field. Number 9, Clayton Frankie is behind the plate at the catcher position. Number 24, Ryan McHugh is at shortstop. Number 6, Bo King is in right field, and Andy Brooks is on the mound. We're going to go ahead and be silent for a moment while they have the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the home plate area for tonight's ceremonial first pitch. Thrown by Maverick sponsor Paul Ryan. Thank you, Mr. Ryan, for all of your support.
Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball with the Bitterroot Bucs and the Missoula Mavericks on this beautiful Wednesday night, the 17th of June. The 7th of June, getting ahead of myself here. It's a beautiful day here in Missoula. The high schools are winding down. We had graduations last weekend, and tonight's game's got a special presentation with it between the bottom of the first and the top of the second. They're going to honor one of the former Mavs, so that's really special. They're going to be able to do that tonight. Chris Stratton here for the Missoula Prep Sports Network with this coverage, and we are ready to go. The leadoff batter is Colby Coleman.
Number 4, Colby Coleman.
He is going to play in the outfield today. He'll be the leadoff batter. He'll step into the batter's box and get ready to go here. First pitch by Andy Brooks is on its way. It will be outside for ball one.
By the Humane Society of Western Montana, saving every animal, every time.
We get set to go, and the second pitch will be a strike. So an even count at 1 here to open things off for the right-handed pitch or right-handed left fielder. Here's the pitch by Brooks down the tube. He'll swing at it and miss for strike 2. So a 1-2 count here for Coleman. Brooks settles. The pitch is on its way. He'll swing on that one. It'll bounce down the first base line. They say foul, and he'll stay alive with a 1-2 count. In the on deck is Marcus Zeiler. And here's the pitch by Brooks. He'll swing on that one. It'll go foul into the netting, and it'll keep the count at 1-2. Brooks getting the nod on the mound today. Out at Frenchtown. Frenchtown student. Waits for the pitch from Frankie and gets it now. Here's the pitch. That one will be high, and we'll even the count out at 2. Brooks will settle. And the pitch is on its way. Swing and a miss, and Brooks will start the game out with a K. That'll bring Marcus Zeiler to the plate. Number 5, he is playing at the shortstop. He'll look down the third base line. Nothing from the head coach there, so he will settle into the batter's box. Right-handed batter is Zeiler, and Jake Finley will go into the batter's box. He'll hit on that one. It'll go foul down the third base line, and we'll have strike 1 on the board. That one will be hit straight up in the air. Frankie and Brooks are both looking for it. Frankie's got it, and that'll be out number 2. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jake Finnerly. So Finley steps in. He'll settle in. Right-handed batter is Finley. He's playing at second base. Here's the pitch. That one will be just, that'll catch the outside of the plate for strike 1. So Finley settles in here. As I mentioned, Brooks, a student out at Frenchtown. He'll swing on that pitch, and it'll be a miss for strike 2. So 2 outs here. Top of the first. The Bitterroot Bucs, they do play at the A level, and they are very competitive at the A level, play very well alongside their counterparts in the Bitterroot, the Red Sox. Here's the pitch by Brooks, and that will be a strike to end the inning. So 1, 2, 3, go the Bucs, and the Mavs will have their portion right after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field as we get the Bitterroot Bucs in town to take on the Missoula Mavericks. And leading off for the Mavericks here at the bottom of the first is the heavy bat of Nick, the toolman Jovetic, playing at center field. He'll settle in. Left-handed batter is Jovetic. On the mound is Liam LaCour. And first pitch to Jovetic is a ball. Here's the pitch by LaCour. Jovetic will hit that one out into center field, and that one's going to split the fielders and land, rolls out to the warning track. Jovetic is around second, heading to third, and he will add to that record he's chasing for the triples. He is 2 away from making his way into the Maverick record books. And that'll bring up number 2, James Martin, the second baseman. So Jovetic leads off with a triple to get things going for the Mavericks. Martin settles in, and here's the pitch. That one will be inside on the right-handed batter of Martin. Martin, he graduated this past weekend from Sentinel. Going to be heading east to play in Miles City. Swung on, that one will be hit right to the third baseman. The throw to first is overthrown. Martin will get around to second. Jovetic will come home, and the Mavericks will strike blood first. 1-0. That brings up the first baseman, number 7, Dane Frazier. So off the error, Jovetic gets the run. Martin gets around to second. And we've got no outs here. So LaCour will check on the pitch. Looks at Martin, who's got a 2-step lead out at second. Pitch is on its way. It'll be in the dirt, and Frazier will start out with a ball. Frazier holding down first base. He's done a great job over there. Big shoes to fill with Jonathan Mitchell moving on. LaCour will check the runner, and now the pitch. That one will be low once again. We'll have a 2-0 count for the first baseman. Frazier finishing out his sophomore year at Big Sky. They've just got a couple of days left. Finals week for the underclassmen this week. Half day today, half day tomorrow, and half day on Friday, and that is it. Summertime. LaCour checks Martin. Now the pitch. That one will catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter of Martin, and we'll have a 2-1 count here. Martin steps away from first, 1.5 lead, inches his way out to a 2-step lead. LaCour waiting for the pitch. Scully is the catcher. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one will bounce right at the pitcher and roll to the second baseman. The throw to first is not there in time. And the Mavericks will have runners on the corners. No outs here. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Trad Richardson. Richardson settles into the batter's box. Right-handed batter is Richardson. Runners on the corners, and here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Martin's going to go ahead and come home. He'll make it 2-0, and Frazier will make his way to second. So the Mavericks, and they're going to call the first pitch a strike. So 0-1 count here. Runner at second, no outs, so the Mavericks take a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Gorgeous day here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Gorgeous evening, I should say. Clouds starting to roll over Blue Mountain. That one's going to be fouled right back at us and land just outside the press box out here. Makes it an 0-2 count. Got to stay on your toes here. Baseball is a contact sport. It's an action sport. They've got stuff flying out of the field at all times. So 0-2 count here, no outs. Runner at second in Frazier. Here's the pitch. That one's high, and we'll have a 1-2 count now. Richardson, Frenchtown High School finishing out his sophomore year. Martin steps away from second. LaCour will watch him. Checks him again. Now the pitch is on its way. Swung on. That one's going to float straight up in the air. Right over second base. Second baseman's looking for it. He's got it, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the designated hitter,
Hitter number 21,
Spencer Schock. Schock, another Sentinel High School graduate over the weekend. He'll settle in. Right-handed batter is Schock. Frazier steps away from second. Step and a half lead. One out here, bottom of the first. Here's the pitch in the dirt outside. Frazier thought about going, but he'll back off to second. Mavericks lead 2-0. In the on deck is number 5, Will Larson. So LaCour waiting for the pitch from Scully. Looks at Frazier at second. He's got a step and a half lead. The pitch is on its way. That one's going to be hit on. That one's going to float straight up in the air right about the shortstop area. The shortstop says he's got it, and Zeiler gets the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up the right fielder, number 5, Will Larson, and Clayton Frankie will go to the on deck. Larson, right-handed batter. He'll settle in. Frazier steps away from second. Step and a half lead. Inches out to a 2-step lead. Pitches wide for ball 1. 2 outs here, bottom of the second. And the Mavericks lead 2-0. They're hanging Frazier at second. He steps away. McClure waits. Now he's got the pitch. That one's going to go off the foot of the catcher, and Frazier's going to go ahead and make his way to third. So a 2-0 count here for Frazier, or for Will Larson. And folks, you can follow along with the stats here as well. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to go foul right back towards us here. And that will settle back in. Here's the pitch. And that one will catch the plate. We'll have a 2-1 count now, or even count at 2 after the foul ball. There's the pitch. And we'll go to a full count at 3-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to go foul into the Sox dugout. And he'll stay alive with a 3-2 count. Frazier hanging out at third. 2 outs. Mavericks with a 2-0 lead on the scoreboard. Clayton Frankie in the on deck. Here's the pitch. And that one will go ahead and walk the batter. That'll bring up the catcher, number 9.
The catcher, number 9.
Clayton Frankie. Frankie will come out and restock the umpire. Klein Voorhees is behind the plate. Kenny Gonzalez is in the field tonight. So Voorhees gets a fresh stock. Frankie looks down the third base line. Coach Hathaway is the third base coach. Gets the play in. Runners on the corners for the Mavericks with 2 outs. Frankie settles in. LaCour waiting for the pitch from Scully. He gets it. Checks the runner at first over his shoulder, and now the pitch. That one's going to slice the plate in half for strike 1. As I was saying, folks, you can follow along with the stats right here with us as the game goes on. They use the iScore system. That one's going to be in the dirt. They're going to go ahead and let the runner go to second. And the Mavs will have Larson at second and Frazier at third with 2 outs here. Frankie facing an even count at 1. Let's go to MissoulaMavericks.net. Scroll down the homepage just a little ways, and on the right-hand side it's got the iScore logo there. LaCour now with the pitch. That one just floats over the plate, but it is in the zone, so it's a 1-2 count now. And then go to Missoula Mavericks. It's going to take you to the iScore homepage. It's going to ask you for a code. So go to Missoula Mavericks Legion Baseball on Facebook, and they've got the code there. Here's the pitch inside. It'll be hit down the third baseline, picked up by the third baseman. The throw to first is not there in time. No, they call him out as he got the tag, and that will end the inning. The Mavericks will take a 2-0 lead and leave two hanging on. We'll be back right after this brief break. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball, taking on the Bitterroot Bucs. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Top of the second inning here. Mavericks lead 2-0. Leadoff batter is the pitcher, number 1, Liam LaCour. First pitch to LaCour is a ball. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one will bounce down the third base line. It will be foul. And the runner will come back. So LaCour will step back in. Even count. Here's the pitch. That one will be swung on. That one will float over the netting down the first base line. Give us a 1-2 count. LaCour settles in now. Andy Brooks on the mound. That one will be fouled back into Frankie, and he'll stay alive with a 1-2 count. Frankie will go ahead and snag the ball from behind the plate, get it out to Brooks. LaCour will settle in. Brooks with the pitch. That one will be hit. Little hopper. Brooks will pick it up on the hop, and it will be an out at first. That'll bring up number 20.
Number 20, Brendan Schneider.
Brendan Schneider and Jake Scully will go to the on deck. So Schneider, right-handed batter, settles in. One out here, top of the second. Scheduled for 9. Here's the pitch, swung on. That one's going to go foul down the first base line. Frazier thinks he can get it. It's in front of the dugout, and it's going to go ahead and land outside of the fencing. Brooks trying to get that one wrangled in, but just out of play. So 0-1 count here for the first baseman. He'll settle back into the press box, batter's box. Slight bit of a breeze coming up here now. Enjoy the breeze. That one's going to be hit out into center field. Jovetic will get it on the hop, and the Bucs will have their first man on base with Jake Scully coming to the plate.
The catcher, number 15, Jake Scully.
Number 15, Jake Scully, is the catcher tonight. So with one out, the Bucs get a hit and a runner on, down 2-0 to the Mavericks. Brooks will check the runner at first. Schneider with a step lead. First pitch to Scully is a strike. Brooks able to strike the first and the third batter out in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That one will be hit out, picked up by the third baseman. The throw to second is there. Throw to first is in time, and they'll turn the double play. So the Mavericks, even though they let one get by, they'll let the hitter get hung up on the base. It's 2-0 Mavericks. We'll be back right after this brief break. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Bitterroot Bucs in Missoula to take on the Missoula Mavericks. Mavericks up 2-0 on the scoreboard. Bottom of the second, leadoff batter is Ryan McHugh. We'll see the 8-9 batters to start off here for the Mavericks. McHugh playing at shortstop. Here is the pitch. McHugh will let that one go, and it will be a strike on the right-handed batter to start out with. McHugh steps out of the batter's box and then settles back in. Pitch is low, and we'll even the count out. They say that first one was a ball, so it's a 2-0 count here. They'll crack on that one down the third base line. They call it fair. It'll crawl its way out to left field, and McHugh will get on with a double.
The left fielder, number 6, and King.
Sentinel royalty coming in the house as Mitch Roberts has entered the building. And that brings up Bo King, the left fielder, number 6. We'll swing to the top of the batting order with Nick Jovetic in the on deck. So no outs here. Runner at second. King will hit on that one. It'll bounce to the shortstop. The throw to third is there in time with the tag. They get the out, but King gets on, and that'll take us to Jovetic.
Number 20, Nick Jovetic.
And Martin will go to the on deck. Jovetic, left-handed batter. He'll settle in. King at first, steps away. Got a full step lead. Here's the pitch. King's going to run. They'll throw to second. It's wide. King slides in, and he will be safe at second. They called a balk on it. So LaCour will settle in. King steps away from second. Good two-step lead out there. One out. Bottom of the second. Mavericks lead 2-0. Jovetic in the box. He'll have his first pitch be thrown a strike. So 0-1 count for Yo. He would triple his first opportunity. 2 triples away from putting himself in the Maverick record book. And we open conference play this Saturday. He'll swing on that pitch and miss. It'll be an 0-2 count for Yo. With one out here, King at second. Got a good packed house here on Wednesday night.
I see that.
Here's the pitch. That one will come out of the hand of the catcher, and King will make his way to second. So a 1-2 count here for Jovetic. King at third. And the Mavericks lead 2-0. LaCour now settles. And the pitch. That one will be inside on the left-handed batter of Jovetic. And we'll have an even count at 2. So 2-2 count here for Yo. King at third. Here's the pitch. And that will make it a full count at 3-2. Jovetic came in on Monday night. They had a makeup game in Helena. The Mavericks would get the win 7-5, putting up 7 runs in the 5th. Here's the pitch. Jovetic will swing on it, and he'll be struck out. That'll be out number 2. Martin will come to the plate.
James Martin.
And Dane Frazier will go to the on-deck. So Martin settles in. He would get to second off of an error throw at first, his first opportunity at bat. Here's the pitch. That one's going to slice the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter. Martin settles back in. King at third steps away. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled over the Maverick dugout, and we'll have an 0-2 count for the second baseman. Here's the pitch now by LaCour. It'll be outside, and Martin will have his first ball of the turn. Here he settles back in. King at third. Steps down the line. LaCour will watch him for a moment, and now the pitch. That one will be inside, off of the gloves, and we'll have an even count at 2 now for Martin. Being patient is Martin. Going over to Miles City to play baseball. Going to have his buddy, childhood friend, Jacob Bierig join him. He'll swing on that one. Will be fouled back. Stays alive with a 3-2 count. King dancing around down there at third. 2 outs here. Maverick with a 2-0 lead. Bottom of 2. Lots of 2s going out. Here's the pitch. And that one will foul back into the netting. He'll stay alive. Summit Beverage is a proud sponsor of the 2017 Mavericks. Summit Beverage.
Let's go, dudes.
Martin now settling in here. Patient with the bat with this opportunity. Facing a even count at 2. Here comes the pitch by LaCour. That one's going to be inside off the foot. King's going to go ahead and come home, and the Mavericks take a 3-0 lead over the Bucs. And Martin, he'll face a full count at 3-2. So Martin settles back in. 2 outs here. King coming home to put a run up on the board. Here's the pitch. And that one will go ahead and walk the second baseman. That'll bring up Dane Frazier to
Number
the
7,
plate.
Dane Frazier.
Frazier will settle in. Right-handed batter is Frazier. Singled his first opportunity at bat. And the pitch. That one will be swung on. It'll kind of just roll out. The third baseman will pick it up. The throw to first is over. Martin's going to go ahead and make his way to third, and the Mavericks will have runners on the corners with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Trad Richardson.
13, Trad Richardson.
So Richardson is down the third baseline. Coach Hathaway with the call. Settling in, Richardson 0 for 1. Frazier's going to go ahead and go to second, and they'll have runners at second and third, Martin at third. And Richardson facing an 0-1 count here. Here's the pitch. That one will foul off, and we'll have an 0-2 count here for the third baseman. Richardson's done a great job over there at third. Kind of had a little bit of rotation over there, but Richardson settling back in. As I mentioned earlier, the Mavericks will start their conference play on Saturday on the road in Billings. He'll swing on this one. It'll float straight up into the air. Catcher or shortstop says he's got it, calling for it, and he does, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks will put one up. They'll hang 2, and they'll make it 3-0 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in a moment after this brief break. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. We've got a change on the mound, call to the bullpen as Jerem Graham will come out and make the pitch. Leading off is Alex Gavalik, and first pitch by Graham is going to be a little bit wild for a ball as it goes rolling back towards the dugout of the Bucs. Not quite sure why they made the switch. Brooks looked like he'd been doing a good job there. On the mound, he had held off batters. So they make the switch from Brooks to Graham. Brooks would get 2 full innings in. He'd allow 1 hit. And Graham is going to get the batter, and they're going to go ahead and
third baseman number 11, Braxton McCullough.
Gavalik get the base, and that'll bring up number 11, Braxton McCullough, the third baseman. So Graham checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. That one's outside. Looking at Brooks' stats, he'd strike out 2 batters, only allowing 1 hit and no runs. Not quite sure why they made the switch, and Graham's first 3 pitches would be balls. McCullough will look down the third base line and get the call, and he will settle in. They get the throw to second. Looked like the throw was there with McHugh, but with the slide, they let the runner take the base. So with no outs here, even count at 1 from McCullough. And they've got a runner at second. He'll take a 2-step lead, does Gavlik. That one will be bunted down the third base line. We'll have a 1-2 count here now. Got some clouds rolling in over the Lolo Peak range there. Graham will settle in on the mound. And the pitch. That one will be outside the plate. We'll have an even count at 2. So Graham settles in. Graham, let's bring up his information. Junior over at Sentinel. He'll be a senior this year. That one's going to be swung on to the third baseman. It'll hop over Richardson down the third base line. Runner will round third. The throw home not there in time, and the Bucs will get on the board, making it 3-1 with no outs here and a runner at first. Frankie will step in front of the plate and signal the field.
The right fielder, number 3, Brendan Bailey.
That'll take us to the bottom of the batting order for the Bucs. Brendan Bailey, the right fielder. So the runner at first steps away. Here's the pitch by Graham. It'll be outside. Graham, 6 pitches in. 2 of those are strikes. He'll settle on the mound. Runner at first steps away. They'll throw to first to get him back. 1-0 count here. Top of the third. Bucs get one on. That was going to be bunted down. Graham will pick it up. The throw to first is there in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. The runner will make his way to second, and that'll swing us to the top of the batting order.
Number 4, Colby Coleman.
And at number 4, Colby Coleman. Coleman, left-handed batter, was a victim to Brooks in the first opportunity at bat as he was struck out. That one will be swung on. High floater out to left field. McHugh says he's got it. King says get out of the way, and King will get the catch for out number 2, and they'll hang the batter at second. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 5, Marcus Zeiler. Zeiler, right-handed batter, settles in. Graham will check the runner at second. Now the pitch. That one's high for a ball. There is movement in the Bitterroot bullpen as well. And Graham settles for the pitch. That one will catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter. We'll have an even count at 1. He'll check the runner at second. And the pitch. That one will catch the outside of the plate. We'll move to a 1-2 count. So Graham's starting to find his rhythm here now. 2 outs. Top of the third. The Bucs put a run up to make it 3-1. Graham will check the runner at second. And the pitch. Outside in the dirt. Runner will hold at second. We'll have an even count at 2. So Graham, a junior over at Sentinel, going to be a senior, finishing out his finals this week. Played 1 year on the B squad and 2 with the A. This is his first year with the double A. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on just past Graham. It'll bounce out, roll out to Jovetic. The runner will round third. The throw home not in time, and the Bucs skin one back to make it 3-2 with 2 outs here. Told you, folks, these guys are competitive.
Number 2, Jake Finley.
That'll bring up number 2, Jake Finley. right-handed batter will settle into the batter's box. Graham now with the pitch. That one will catch the plate for strike one. So 0-1 count, 2 outs here. Graham allowed 2 runs here in his first inning pitching. Brooks did a great job through the first 2 innings. Here's the pitch. That one's just a hair inside. Frankie's going to go out and have a conversation with Graham. The Humane Society of Western Montana, saving every animal every time. Humane Society of Western Montana. Frankie makes his way back to behind the plate. He'll settle in, right-handed batter. Even count at 1. Runner at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on right into the glove of Richardson, and that'll end the inning. So the Bucs will get 2, they'll hang 1, and it'll be 3-2 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field in Missoula, Montana. The Bitterroot Bucs in town to take on the Mavericks, and the Bucs, they're playing a tight game here. 3-2, bottom of the third. Leadoff batter for the Mavericks here. Well, that would be number 21, Spencer Schock, the designated hitter. The 5, 6, 7 batters will lead off for the Mavericks in this inning. So Schock, right-handed batter, he'll step in. He would have a flyout, his first opportunity at bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Liam LaCour on the mound for the Bucs. Did see movement in the Buck bullpen. Here's the pitch. That one will be high. And we'll have an even count at 1 for the designated hitter. Schock, as I mentioned earlier, graduate from Sentinel this last weekend. Here's the pitch, swung on. That one's going to float up over the Maverick dugout, and we'll have a 1-2 count here. He'll settle in. He's going to be going over to Butte. Ooh, that one's going to take Schock right in the left hip. He'll get his base and head down the line. That'll take us to number 5, Will Larson. Larson, he looks down the third baseline. Coach Hathaway is the third base coach. He'll signal in the play for Larson. Larson, finishing his junior year at Sentinel. He'll foul that one back off and start out with a strike. 0-1 count here for Larson. Ryan McHugh in the on deck. Or no, Clayton Frankie in the on deck. Ryan McHugh came out and got the ball from behind the plate. So an 0-1 count here. Schock at first. Steps away with a full step lead. They throw it back at him. He'll dive back in, and he's got pride stripes on that nice clean jersey. 0-1 count now. Larson walked his first opportunity at bat. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They're going to go ahead and call a strike as it sliced the plate, and we'll have a 0-2 count now with no outs. Mavericks have a 3-2 lead on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the third. We're set to run 9. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That was going to bounce into the Bucs dugout, and he'll stay alive with the 0-2 count. Shock at first. Looking at Liam LaCour's stats here. 53 pitches in, 54 pitches as it updates in front of me. 32 of those are strikes. Here's the pitch, swung on. That one's going to bounce in front of the left fielder. It'll bounce up over the left fielder's head. Shock's going to round second, as does Larson to second. And Mavericks with no outs here. We'll have runners at second and third. That'll bring up the catcher, number 9, Clayton Frankie. And Ryan McHugh will now move to the on-deck circle. Frankie will settle in. Runners at second and third for the Mavericks. They have a 3-2 lead. This one will be swung on just past the runner, or past the catcher. They'll have 2 outs as they'll tag the bag at second, and the throw to first is in time. Shock will come home, and the Mavericks will take a 4-2 lead with 2 outs here.
Number 24, Ryan McHugh.
And a runner at third. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be hit right towards the pitcher. He's not able to pick it up. The second baseman gets it out by second. Throw to first is there, and that will end the inning. Nope, that's only the second out. I thought they got two batters out there.
Number 6, Bo King.
So Bo King will settle in. Bottom of the batting order for the Mavericks. King playing out at left field. He'll show bunt. And the runner comes home, makes it 5-2. LaCour settles on the mound. And now the pitch. That one's going to be inside on King. He'll slide out of the way, and he'll have a 1-0 count here. 2 outs. Mavericks are able to bring 2 home in this inning. They have a 5-2 lead. Here's the pitch. Inside. We'll have a 2-0 count. 2-0 count with 2 outs. Nobody on. And now we get the pitch by LaCour. That one's going to catch the outside of the plate on King as a right-handed batter. King, he's going to be a junior this fall over at Sentinel. Does double time as both outfielder playing at left today. That one's going to go ahead and walk King. And that'll bring up McHugh. Oh no, that means we swing to the top of the batting order with Jovetic. That's going to warrant a walk out to the mound by the pitching coach for a brief conversation. State Farm. Missoula Mavericks salute State Farm. Agents Bob King, Riley McCoby, and Darby South. State Farm, official sponsor of Missoula Mavericks baseball. Brief conversation on the mound with LaCour. We did see action in the bullpen for
number 20, Nick Jovetic.
The Bucs. Didn't see who was warming up. Jovetic will settle in. He's 1 for 2, triple and a strikeout on the day. King steps away from first with a heavy step lead. He's going to make the run to second. The pitch goes. The throw is not there. King slides in front of it. And so we get a stolen base and a ball on the pitch. Some darkness. Looks like down the Bitterroot mountain range. It's dark coming over the Lolo Peak and down the Bitterroot area there. Sunday with the doubleheader. Here's the pitch. That one will be swung on and fouled, and Jovetic will have an even count. But Sunday's doubleheader with Glacier, we got done just as the storm hit. Timing. King steps away from second, 2-step lead. Even count at 1 for Jovetic, 2 outs. Mavericks lead 5-2. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be off the ankle of Jovetic. He'll make his way down the line to get his base. And that will bring up the second baseman, James Martin.
Number 2, James Martin.
So Martin will settle in. 0 for 1. Walked on his last opportunity at bat. Reached off an error, his first. King steps away from second, 2-step lead. Jovetic at first. He's got a heavy step lead. 2 outs here. Here's the pitch. That one's going to catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter of Martin. Martin settles in. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on down the third base line. Third baseman will touch the bag, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks will get 2. They'll hang 2, and they'll make it 5-2 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in a brief moment right after this. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Mavericks lead the Bitterroot Bucs 5-2. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field as we've got live coverage of Maverick baseball. And the pitch by Graham inside for ball 1. So Graham will settle in. We've got action in both bullpens. And I believe the closer, that was going to be hit out to the third baseman. Richardson will pick it up out of the dirt. The throw to first is there, and that'll be out number 1.
Number 20, Brendan Schneider.
That'll bring up number 20, Brendan Schneider. Can't see who's warming up in the Bucs bullpen. They've got a little bit of tree growth over the edge of the fence there, and I can't see down the line. And I do believe that it's the closer, Ricky Stevens, warming up down the line there. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be swung on and missed for strike 1 on the count. So Schneider singled his first opportunity at bat. Right-handed batter settles back into the batter's box. Graham on the mound. Here's the pitch. That one's going to hit Graham. That one's going to hit Schneider. And that'll bring up number 15, Jake Scully. Not quite sure why the switch was made from Brooks. He was pitching, from what I could see, very well. So with no outs here, or 1 out here, runner at first with a 1-step lead. Here's the pitch in the dirt outside for Scully. Scully is behind the plate at the catcher today. Grounded out his first opportunity at bat. Top of the 4th here. Here's the pitch by Graham. That one's going to be inside as well, and it's a 2-0 count. Trying to make sure, confirm, if that is the closer. And the pitch. That one's going to catch the outside of the plate. We've got a 2-1 count now. Runner steps away from first. 1 out here. 2-1 count. Jerem Graham on the mound. He'll check the runner over his left shoulder. Now the pitch. And that one will make it a 3-1 count. Pitcher warming up for both teams in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. And they'll go ahead and walk the catcher. That'll bring up the center fielder, number 6, Alex Gavlik. And they'll have runners at first and second. So 1 out here. Mavericks lead 5-2. Here's the pitch by Graham. That one's going to be in the dirt outside. Runners will hold at their bases. And the warm-up pitcher is going to make his way back down to the dugout for the Mavericks. That might be Chalmers and not Stevens. That one will be swung on and missed, and they'll have an even count at 1 for Gavlik. Bitterroot playing competitively, keeping it close here. It's 5-2, the top of the 4th. They've got runners at first and second. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. We'll have a 1-2 count here for Gavlik. Love seeing the names here. You know, the great thing about what I do here, calling games for high school basketball and football, I also see these names. You get to see what kind of athlete these kids really are. That one's going to be chin music for the center fielder as he ducks out of the way, and we'll have an even count at 2. 1 out here, runners at first and second. Graham will check the runner at second now, and the pitch is on its way. In the dirt, runners will hold, and we'll have a full count at 3-2. Graham, with his future goals, he'd like to either go to college or the military. He'll check the runner, and now the pitch swung on. Foul down the third base line, staying alive with the full count at 3-2. So the Mavericks looking to possibly move on to their third pitcher of the game. They'd go through 2 on Monday against Helena. That one's going to be fouled. Looked like it fouled right out of the glove of Frankie. Staying alive at the 3-2 count. And Leonard will come out and snag the ball from behind the plate. Runners at first and second step away from their bases. Full count at 3-2. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swung on. High floater. Jovetic says he's got it in center field. He'll trot forward and he'll get the catch. Runners will hold, and that'll be out number 2. That will bring up number 11, Braxton McClure.
Number 11, Braxton McCullough.
McCullough will settle in. Right-handed batter is McCullough. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Graham will check the runner at second. Here's the pitch. That one will slice the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter. And McCullough 0 for 1. Reached off an error. Now the pitch by Graham. That one will be inside, and we'll have an even count at 1 with 2 outs here. Settling in now is Graham on the mound. Runners step away from their bases. Even count at 1 with 2 outs. That one will be outside, and we'll move to a 2-1 count here now. Settling now. Graham looks at the runner at second. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to bounce down the third base line. Picked up by the third baseman. The throw to first is there. That will end the inning. So they'll leave a couple up, not get any runs, and it'll stay 5-2 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Big thank you to Agents Right.
Welcome back to Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field as we are set to go here. They've got a young man that warms up the pitcher when the catcher needs to put his stuff on. Really great to watch the young man out there catching. Can't be more than 5th or 6th grade out there. Looks tiny amongst all these men. We've got a change on the mound for the Bucs. Colby Coleman will go to the mound, and LaCour will slide back to second. Or no.
Number 7, Dane Frazier.
He'll move to second. That's correct. And Dane Frazier will lead things off here for the Mavericks. Here's the first pitch, and it will be a strike on the outside of the plate for Frazier. Frazier, a right-handed batter. And that one will catch the plate for an 0-2 count. Finley will move from second out to left field for the Bucs. That one will be hit down the first base line. Foul. We'll have a 0-2 count here. Staying alive is Frazier. 1 for 2 on the day. Singled his first opportunity. Reached off an error on his second. Here's the pitch. Inside, and we'll have the first ball pitch to Frazier. He'll settle back in. Right-handed batter is Frazier. Big Sky student. Swings on that one. It'll bounce out to the second baseman. He'll pick it up on the hop. The throw to first is there, and that'll be out number 1. That'll bring up the third baseman.
Number 13, Trad Richardson.
13, Trad Richardson. Richardson, he'll settle in, and Spencer Schock will go to the on deck. So 1 out here, bottom of 4. Mavericks lead 5-2. Here is the first pitch to Richardson. He's going to foul that one off down the first baseman. The first baseman says he's got it, and he does, and that'll be out number 2. So Spencer Schock will come to the plate.
Number 21, Spencer Schock.
Schock will settle in. Right-handed batter is Spence. Here's the pitch. And that's going to catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter. Schock, as I mentioned, graduated from Sentinel this last weekend. He's going to be playing digger football over in Butte this fall. He'll swing on that one. It's going to go down the first base line, and it'll be caught, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks go 1, 2, 3.
For the Mavericks, no runs, no hit, no one left on base.
They'll leave the score 5-2. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Bitterroot Bucs in town to take on the Mavericks. Mavericks lead 5-2, top of the fifth. We're scheduled for 9. Leadoff batter for the Bucs. Well, that would be number 3.
Number 3, Brendan
Bailey, the bottom of the batting order. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Mavericks. It's the closer, Ricky Stevens. Here's the pitch. He'll swing on that one. Will foul back and off of the glove of Frankie. So Ricky Stevens, the closer as I like to call him, he has been a phenomenal closing pitcher for the Mavericks. He graduated from Sentinel this weekend as well. It's a big hit losing him this year. Here's the pitch. That will be hit right out to Stevens. He'll glove it, tries to find it, picks it up. The throw to first is there in time, and that will be the out. Great play by Stevens on the mound. That'll swing us to the top of the batting order for the Bucs.
Number 4,
Colby Coleman. So Coleman will settle in. Graham, he would pitch his 2 innings. He would allow 2 runs off of 1 hit. Finish with a 4.50 ERA. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to float out to center field. Jovetic, he'll track it down, and he'll get the catch for out number 2. And that brings up
number 5, Marcus
Zeiler. Another one of those Florence basketball athletes that we got to see this year with Loyola basketball. He's got a sister that plays very well at Loyola. And that pitch will be the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter for strike 1. So Zeiler 1 for 2, singled his last opportunity at bat. He'll settle in. And now the pitch. Swings on it, reaches for it, down the first base line. Frazier will pick it up, trots over to first, and that will end the inning. So they bring the closer in, and they'll hold him off. And it's 5-2 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in just a moment with the Mavericks portion of the fifth. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field as the Bitterroot Bucs are in town to take on the Mavericks. Mavericks lead 5-2, bottom of the fifth. On the mound for the Bucs would be number 4, Colby Coleman, and stepping into the box is number 5, Will Larson. So here is the first pitch to Larson. He'll swing on that one. They'll check it, and they say he did swing for strike 1. Mavericks will be on the road on Saturday as they will do a doubleheader with the Royals to open up conference play. He's going to swing on that one. It's going to foul off and go right over our heads here. And we'll have an 0-2 count. Beautiful evening here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Got a little bit of clouds coming over Lolo Peak and Blue Mountain there. That one's going to be swung on, hit smartly out into center field. It'll land on the hop, and Larson will get on. That will bring us to Clayton Frankie.
Number 9, Clayton Frankie.
And Ryan McHugh will move to the on-deck circle. So a runner at first. Hathaway will go ahead and send a signal. Frankie will settle in, and now the pitch. That one's, they said outside, but it was a strike call, and that's why the guys behind the plate are calling the plays, and I'm up here in the booth. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be inside, and they call balk. So Larson will get the base, and that's, I believe, the second balk call of the game. Sunday we had with the Twins, we had 3 in the same inning. So 0-1 count here. Larson at second. 2-step lead. Mavericks lead 5-2. They've been able to pick up their 5 runs off of 5 hits. Here's the pitch. That one's inside. Frankie had to move out of the way, but they're still going to call it a strike. So 0-2 count here for the catcher. The Bucs, they've picked up their 2 runs off of 2 hits. They've committed 3 errors. The Mavericks, they've committed a single error so far. Larson steps away from second. The pitch is on its way. Frankie will reach for that one, and it'll go foul. Ryan McHugh in the on deck for the Mavericks with no outs here. The second baseman will signal the pitcher. Pitcher will settle. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit straight up in the air. Frankie's going to make the run. Center fielder says he's got it, and he does, and that'll be out number 1. Larson will hold at second on the overthrow to second.
Number 24, Ryan McHugh.
And that'll bring up Ryan McHugh. And Scully will step in front of the plate. Actually, he's going to call time and head to the mound and have a conversation with Coleman. Mavs fans, stop by Universal Athletic in the Holiday Shopping Center. Universal Athletic, for all the athlete in all of us. Universal Athletic. Universal Athletics. And Scully, he comes back behind the plate now. And McHugh settles in. Here's the pitch for McHugh. High and outside. McHugh, 1 for 2 on the day, doubled his first opportunity at bat. Doing a great job at making up for the loss of Bearrig out there at the shortstop position. Here's the pitch. Outside, and we'll have a 2-out count for McHugh. McHugh, another graduated from Loyola week before Memorial Day weekend, or 2 weeks before Memorial Day weekend. Loyola finished out their last week of school last week. Here's the pitch. He's going to hit that one off of the hand grips. Foul, and we'll have a 2-1 count here for the shortstop. McHugh going to be going to MSU this fall. I believe he's majoring in business. Larson at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled back into the netting. Even count at 2 now for McHugh. Jovetic will come in and snag the ball. Bo King in the on deck. That's the bottom of the batting order for the Mavericks. With 1 out here. Even count at 2. Larson steps away from second. Heavy 2-step lead. Here's the pitch. That one will be in the dirt outside. Larson's going to go down the line to third. Slides in, and the catcher does not make the throw. And the Mavericks will have a runner at third with 1 out here. McHugh with a full count. And he'll settle into the box now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and they're going to let McHugh go down the line. The throw to first is there, and that will officially be the out. So Bo King will settle in, and Nick Jovetic will go to the on deck. With 2 outs here, a runner at third for the Mavericks. King tosses the bat, McHugh's bat back towards Jovetic, and he'll settle the batter's box with his foot. Now settled in is King. Walked his last opportunity at bat. Here's the pitch. That one is going to skin the plate for strike 1. King playing in the outfield. Doubles time at the catcher position. That one's going to be swung on out to center field, and it will hop past the center fielder. Larson will come home. King will round first on his way to second. And Hathaway says, "Come on over, bud," and he's on his way to third, and he'll stand up and get there. The overthrow to third, and King will trot his way home for the run, and the Mavericks will take an 8-6 7-2 lead as 2 runners come home.
Number 20, Nick Jovetic.
And that'll bring up the tool man, Nick Jovetic. So the Mavericks up 7-2 with 2 outs. Jovetic will settle in. First pitch to the left-handed batter. Oh, the toss back to the pitcher goes off the helmet of Jovetic. Wow. Last time at bat, he did get hit by a pitch. Here's the pitch. That one's going to bounce in front of the plate. Colby Coleman. It's a tough guy to face up against, is Jovetic. He's intimidating just being on the field. You get him step into the batter's box, and well, it increases that intimidation. It's a high pitch, makes it a 2-1 count with 2 outs here. Nobody on for the Mavericks. They've already been able to bring runners home here in the 5th. The only inning they have not scored a run is the 4th. High pitch to Jovetic makes it a 3-1 count. They'd put up 2 in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. They'd put up a run in the 2nd and nothing in the 4th. Jovetic will swing on that one, and he'll have a full count at 3-2 with 2 outs here. Martin in the on deck for the Mavericks. Now the pitch by Coleman. Jovetic will swing on it. They say foul, and he'll stay alive. Jovetic going to the University of San Francisco, as I mentioned, this fall. Asked him what his favorite baseball memory was, and last summer he got to participate in the 2016 area code games, and that outside pitch will put Jovetic on base, and he'll be walked. That'll bring up James Martin, the second baseman. Number 2, Dos. So Martin, he'll settle into the batter's box with 2 outs. Jovetic at first. Mavericks lead 7-2. Here's the pitch. Inside. We'll have an 0-1 count for Martin. As I mentioned, he's going over to Miles City this fall. Going to play baseball with his buddy. Jovetic is going to go ahead and go, and they'll let him go. And he'll get the base. So Jovetic at second now with 2 outs. 1-0 count for the right-handed batter of Martin. He'll settle in. Jovetic steps away from second. He's got a 2.5 step lead. Coleman waiting for the pitch. Now he'll get it. Checks Jovetic. Winds up and pitches. Swung on. That one's going to hop out into right field. Jovetic, they swing him around. He's going to go ahead and come around. He'll come home, and Jovetic will have another run on the board, making it 8-2 with 2 outs here. And Martin will get an RBI out of the single. And that brings up the third baseman, Trad Richardson. Or no, Dane Frazier. Got ahead of myself here. For some reason, I had an extra at-bat there for Frazier, and that's what made me skip ahead to the third baseman. So Frazier holding down first base, doing a great job over there. Here's the pitch. Runner at second, or Martin's going to go. He'll slide into second and get there in time. 2 outs. 1-0 count here for the first baseman, and the Mavericks lead 8-2. They're able to put up 3 runs so far here in the 5th. We are scheduled for 9. Coleman on the mound, and now we get action down in the bullpen for the Bucs. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to go right past the pitcher. Hathaway tells Martin to go ahead and come around. The throw to home is not there. Nobody at first to throw it back to Frazier as he was a third of the way down the line. Martin will score, and it's 9-2 Mavericks here with 2 outs.
Number 13, Brad Richardson.
The last 2 games, the 5th inning has been the magic inning for the Mavericks. They put up 7 in the 5th in Helena on Monday night, and right now they've got 4 on the board here with 2 outs. Runner at first in Frazier. Now Richardson steps in. They'll throw to first to have Frazier come back. Richardson 0 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch. He'll swing on that one. It'll bounce out past the third baseman and the shortstop. And the Mavericks will have runners at first and second. The designated hitter, Spencer Schock, will come to the plate.
Number 21, Spencer Schock.
And Frankie will come out. Frankie is in the hole. Will Larson is in the on deck. So Schock settles in. Here's the pitch. Outside. Schock's going to go over and play a linebacker for the Diggers this fall. And he does a great job at the long snap position. He's done that for the Spartans. Dane Oliver has high praises for the young man at that position. That's a tough one to have as a long snapper. That pitch will be outside. Makes a 2-0 on the count with 2 outs here. Mavericks have runners at first and second. Jovetic was, they're going to call time? Nope. Coach comes out and signals down the line to the bullpen, and we've got a 3-0 count now. So they might be having that young man warm up a little bit quicker so they can get him in here, as Coleman is in trouble. Runners at first and second. They step away. Schock with a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. That one will catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter. Schock was on the fence about playing with the Mavericks this year because he was accepted to play football. And the regional tournament, Northwest Regional Tournament, well, the same week is when the Diggers start their camp. They're going to go ahead and walk Schock to load the bases, and that will bring up Larson and puts Frankie in the on deck. Now we have a walk out to the mound by the coach. So this might be Coleman's call as they make the trot out there. Infield starting to come in. Here comes the pitcher from out there. So we're going to go ahead and let him warm up. And we'll be silent while that happens. When we come back, we will have the information on the new pitcher. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Lindbergh Craig Field. Mavericks hosting the Bitterroot Bucs. Mavericks up 9-2 on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the fifth. The fifth inning, the last 2 games, has been the magic inning for the Mavericks as they put up 7 runs in the fifth against Helena on Monday night, and they've got 4 on the board here tonight. They make a pitching change, they as in the Bucs, and they bring in Alec Wells. Colby Coleman, he would pitch 1 2/3 innings. He would allow 4 runs off of 5 hits, strike out 1 batter, and he would have 4 errors credited to his go. So Will Larson will come back out. 2 outs, bases loaded. Here is the first pitch. That one's going to be high for ball 1. Wells settles in on the mound. Runners at the bases. Here's the pitch. Outside. Makes it a 2-0 count here with 2 outs. Sometimes those first couple of pitches by the new pitcher, just trying to find his zone. Every umpire is different. Every strike zone is different. Here's the pitch. That one is going to be called a strike. So a 2-1 count now for Larson. Larson walked his first opportunity at bat and singled his last 2 opportunities. Here's the pitch now. And that one's going to hit Larson in the back. That will bring Frazier home. And Frankie will come to the plate, and the Mavericks take a 10-2 lead. So Frankie, 0 for 3 on the day, settling behind the mound as the catcher. Here's his first pitch. That one is going to be on the inside of the plate for strike 1 on the right-handed batter. Frankie trying to fill the shoes of Spencer Schock, who's normally down in that catcher position. That pitch will be inside. We'll have an even count at 1 for the catcher. Bases loaded for the Mavericks here. They lead 10-2 in the 5th. We are scheduled for 9. Here's the pitch. He'll hit on that one. It'll hop out over the head of the shortstop. Richardson will come home. Schock will come home. And the Mavericks will take a 10-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th as they put up another 7 runs. They'll have runners at first and second. And the laser, Ryan McHugh, will come to the plate. He'll settle in. Right-handed batter is McHugh. 1 for 3 on the day. Doubled his first opportunity. 2 outs here. Runners at first and second. And I think we had a flash of lightning there. I'm not quite sure if that was just me or... No, it was lightning. I get confirmation from the voice, and we get an over pitch, the runners, and there's the thunder. There's some power, and there's another one. And the umpires, they're going to come in, and they'll have a brief conversation about it. The field ump, Kenny Gonzalez, he's the one. He looks towards Mosier down the first base line.
Okay, I'm in
here. And the umpire, Klein Voorhees, with a comment up to the press box here. With my headphones on, I wasn't able to hear what he said. They'll settle in. Oh, it's a faraway lightning notice. So 1-0 count here. Here's the pitch. Swung on. High floater. Straight up in the air. Shortstop says he's got it. Center fielder will come in and get the catch and end the inning. So the Mavericks will hang 7 runs up in the inning, and they'll leave 2 hanging. It is 12-2 Mavericks. We will be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. We've got changes in the field as Leonard will go to right and Busey will go to left. So change in the outfield. And leading off is number to Jake Finley for the Bucs. First pitch by Ricky Stevens is the ball. The wind's starting to pick up here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Coming straight at us from Blue Mountain. Here's the pitch by the closer. Swung on and missed, and we'll leave the count out at 1. Mavericks lead 12-2 here in the top of the 6th. We've had a lightning warning. There's an ugly one coming over the mountain. Here's the pitch. That one will be a strike over the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter of Finley. 0 for 2 is Finley. Struck out his first opportunity at bat. He was the second K for Brooks. Here's a pitch by Stevens outside, and we'll have a 3-1 count now. Finley playing out at second for the Bucs. Here's the pitch. That one's going to foul off, and we'll have a full count at 3-2. The wind's strong enough here now that it's shutting my door, and I'm not getting the breeze like I was, but that's okay. That breeze is starting to pick up pretty good. Grabbed a hold of one of the awnings out here in front of us. Now the pitch by Stevens. That'll be scooped up. Jovetic and McHugh will run for it, and it'll bounce between the two of them, and the Bucs will get one on. So down 12-2 here in the top of the 6th. The Bucs will get one on, and Liam LaCour will come to the plate. He started off the game on the mound. He's moved to left field now. Stevens will check the runner at first, and now the pitch. Swung on, it'll bounce out. McHugh will pick it up at shortstop. The throw to second, and then the first is over, and it will head into the dugout, and the runner will make his way to second. So 1 out here, and we've got more action in the Maverick bullpen.
Number 20, Brandon Schneider.
And Brandon Snyder will come to the plate. He'll settle in. Right-handed batter is Schneider. 1 out here. And warming up in the bullpen for the Mavericks. Looks like it might be Chalmers. It's either Chalmers or Stevens. Stevens now with the pitch. Swung on. That was going to go down the first base line, stay fair, in between the legs of Frazier, and they will get the out. Nice recover by Frazier, and Stevens stepping up. We've got 2 outs and a runner at third for the Bucs. Mavericks lead 12-2. And the runner will make his way back to the dugout.
Number 15, Jake Scully.
And the catcher, Jake Scully, will come to the plate. So 2 outs here. First pitch by Stevens is a strike. And we've got action in the Maverick bullpen. The closer on the mound now, Stevens. Outside pitch, makes it an even count at 1. Not quite sure if it's Chalmers or Parker Stevens out there. Here's the pitch. That one's going to make it a 2-1 count now. Runner at third for the Bucs. Frankie looks towards the dugout. Gets the pitch, relays it to Stevens. It's on its way. And that one will be a strike, and we'll have an even count at 2 now. Stevens gets the pitch from Frankie, and it's on its way. That'll be high, and we'll have a full count at 3-2. Runner at third for the Bucs. 2 outs here. And the catcher, Jake Scully, in the box. Wind starting to pick up now. Coming straight at us. Now moving kind of right to left. That ball will hop into the netting right back at us. And the Buck batter will come out and snag it. Wind picking up pretty good. Here's the pitch. That one will be inside. They'll strike out the batter and end the inning. So the Bucs will hang one. They won't get any runs off of it. and it stays 12-2. We'll be back for the bottom of the sixth in just a moment. Welcome to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. We've got some wind coming in left to right on your dial. And the Mavericks lead 12-2 here in the bottom of the sixth. And Sam Busey will come in. His first opportunity to bat on the day, as he came in for Bo King at left field in the last half inning. With the wind picking up and the storm moving in, crowds starting to make their way out. Mavericks have a 12-2 lead. They've got their 12 runs off of 10 hits. Can see a little bit of moisture, I think, spraying out there. And here's the first pitch. One will be outside for ball one. Yeah, I can feel the moisture spitting in now as the wind picks up. Here's the pitch, outside. Makes it a 2-0 count now. Everybody grabbing for stuff as the wind's picking up. We've seen awnings blow over already. Ready for the pitch. That one's going to be low, and it'll be a 3-0 count now for Busey. And the rain coming in a little heavier now. Here's the pitch, outside. Have a 3-0 count now for Busey. 2-1 count. Okay, well, I've got 3-0 on iScore and 2-1 on the scoreboard. He'll swing on that one. It'll float up in the air. First baseman says he's got it, and he does. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll swing us to the top of the batting order for Nick Jovetic. Wow, that wind is really coming up now. Jovetic settles in the box. 1 for 2, tripled his first opportunity. He'll foul that one off. Everybody diving for cover with this wind and rain. There's an ugly one coming from the eastern part of the valley, southeastern part of the valley. 1-0 count. Pitch is on its way. That one he'll hit, bounces out, picked up by the second baseman. The throw to first is there. Overthrow. Jovetic will make around first, head to second. And the umpire makes his way back. That'll bring James Martin to the plate. Martin 1 for 3. Singled his last opportunity. So Martin settling in. We've got a little bit of moisture on the screen here. I apologize, folks. And there goes my rag. That's all right. We'll get it in the half inning. So a 1-0 count here for Martin. Jovetic at second. He'll step away. He's got a heavy 2-step lead out there. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, Mavericks lead 12-2. This pitch will be inside on Martin, and we'll have a 2-0 count here. Trying to get the picture straightened up here for you guys. That pitch low. So a 3-0 count with 1 out here. Wind still blowing, heavy, left to right. Jovic steps away from second, pitch is on its way, and they'll go ahead and walk Martin. That'll bring up the first baseman, Dane Frazier. Frazier two for 4 on the day, singled his last opportunity at bat. The rain starting to blow sideways now, coming in on us, starting to pick up a little bit more. Electronics getting wet here. So 1-0 count. Rain coming down pretty good now. That one's going to be hit out to center field. Not able to get there. Jovic will make his way to third. And we'll have loaded bases for the Mavericks. And the umpires will come out and have a conversation now. So we'll see what they're going to do here as the rain continues to come down. They head towards the Bucs dugout. Coach Hathaway is a third base coach, so he might join this conversation as they head towards the third base dugout. And they're talking about it. Hathaway with his arms in the air says, come on, this is baseball. Bucs coach says, it's up to you. And we're going to take and try to cover up the electronics the best we can here. So the rain coming down pretty good now. And it's picked up since the umpires have said to continue to the game. Swung on, that was going to foul back into the netting. Trying to keep the electronics safe here. So I apologize if the feed isn't as clean as it was on the video side. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2-1 count here for Richardson. Loaded bases for the Mavericks with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Battling through the rainstorm. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to float down the first base line foul, and we'll have an even count at 2. Here comes King out to reload Voorhees. He's got a fresh stock of balls now. Here's the pitch. That one will bounce. Runners will hold at their bases as it's loaded. Pretty good stream coming left to right on the rain. Everybody diving in. The wind picks up and the rain picks up. Here's the pitch. And he'll swing on it and miss. And that'll be a K for Wells. Spencer Schock will come to the plate now. Rain's coming down very good now. Outside pitch by Wells. Loaded bases for the Mavericks. 2 outs. They lead 12-2. The wind at a full Torrent left to right. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Bounces to the third baseman. He'll throw to second, and it's there, and that will end the inning.
For the Mavericks, no runs, one hit, one error.
And the Mavericks, they'll leave a couple hanging, no runs, and we will be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Mavericks as Parker Stevens has come in and Spencer Schock is now behind the plate. So some changes for the Mavericks. They lead 12-2 here, top of the seventh. Bunted down the first base line, picked up by Frazier. He'll run to first and get the out to start off the inning. That will take us to number 11, Braxton McCullough. McCullough, 0 for 2. Stevens, Parker Stevens to be exact, making it tough on the broadcast guy, going from Stevens to Stevens. 1-0 count here with one out. Here's the pitch. That one will slice the plate to even the count out at 1. So Ricky Stevens, he would pitch 2 innings, allow 1 hit, no runs, and strike out a batter. Here's the pitch. And that one will be a 2-1 count now. Only the faithful left in the facility. Here's the pitch. That one will bounce out, picked up by McHugh on the run. The throw to first is there in time, and that'll be the out. Actually, I believe that's right. Chalmers is out there at shortstop now, not McHugh.
Number 3, Brendan Bailey.
And that'll bring up number 3, Brendan Bailey. So everybody's settling back into their chairs here now that this moisture part of the storm has blown by. Parker Stevens' first pitch to Bailey is a strike. 0-1 count, 2 outs here. Nobody on. Top of the 7th. Mavericks up 12-2. Here's the pitch. Inside. He evens it out at 1. Still got the wind going left to right. The American flag, Montana flag, and Legion flag standing at attention. That one very inside as Bailey hops out of the way to avoid the hit. 2-1 count now with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And we'll have a 3-2 or an even count at 2. 2 outs. Pitch on its way inside, and we'll have a full count now. In the on deck, that would be pitcher number 18, Alec Wells. Here's the pitch. Swung on, that will bounce out, picked up by Martin. He'll throw to first, and that will end the inning. So 1, 2, 3, and that will be the game. So the Mavericks win 12-2 over the Bitterroot Bucs. Mavericks go on the road, and they will play in Billings for a doubleheader on Saturday. They won't be home till the 20th. So the Mavericks get the win 12-2. Their 12 runs off 11 hits. They would commit 2 errors. The Bucs, they get their 2 runs off of 3 hits and commit a total of 5 errors. Looking at offensive stats here for the Mavericks, Jovetic would go 1 for 3 with 2 runs. James Martin 1 for 3 for 2 runs. Dane Frazier 3 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Trad Richardson 1 for 5 and a run. Spencer Schock 0 for 3, but he'd get 2 runs. Will Larson 2 for 2, 2 runs and an RBI. Clayton Frankie 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Ryan McHugh 1 for 4 and an RBI. Sam Busey 0 for 1. Bo King 1 for 2, 2 runs and an RBI, and that rounds out the offensive stats. This is Chris Stratton for the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in for coverage of Missoula Mavericks baseball.